I'm Dale Smith for Looney Politics, and in all of the talk about the ArriveCan app over the last couple of weeks, nobody's really been talking about the CBSA itself, which is part of what's at issue here. CBSA is, like the RCMP, an arm's length federal agency, which means the government doesn't have day-to-day control over it. They can appoint its head, they can give broad policy direction, but they don't control day-to-day operations, and they don't have an ability to provide direct oversight over things that are happening, such as the kind of contracting practices that were at the heart of this particular story. And this is not unique to CBSA. There are other federal agencies that are also arm's length to this effect, such as the CRA, the Public Health Agency, Correctional Services. They all operate in this same kind of arm's length manner where the federal government has a broad directional oversight. They report to a minister, but the minister doesn't direct how they do their work. And this is a key issue of how things have happened with the ArriveCan app that nobody seems to want to really talk about. In the opposition's particular calculus, they want to ensure that this is pinned on the government, and they are throwing around words like corruption and so on. But that doesn't really track with how the actual structures work in this kind of a situation. The other thing to remember is that the CBSA actually doesn't have any independent civilian oversight. This is a problem that has been identified for years, well over a decade now, and governments, both current and former, have somewhat resisted doing this kind of work which they're supposed to be doing. The Liberals even decided, or have on numerous occasions put forward bills that would provide some level of oversight, but they always seem to curiously die on the order paper. The other problem is that they keep proposing a model of oversight that would be the same as the RCMP's, but that model doesn't really work for the RCMP either, and there's no reason to believe that it would actually be effective for CBSA either, and that's a problem, and it's a problem that this government hasn't addressed. Now, there are other problems in terms of the culture within CBSA. It, like the RCMP, has a paramilitary culture. It has a lot of toxicity involved, and it requires some real reform within it. But again, there hasn't been enough political direction around that, and there hasn't been enough focus on ensuring that that reform is happening. And I think these are things that we need to look at in parallel with what happened with ArriveCan. Otherwise, you're looking for a scandal without looking at all of the pieces involved, and that'll be a problem in the long run. For Looney Politics, I'm Dale Smith.